what are we doing next? What's the actual plan? Why are we doing this now? And how are we measuring success? A great product roadmap answers these 4 key questions. As a product manager, these are the questions you might hear from anyone on your team, from marketing and engineering to executives and potentially even customers. One of the best ways to provide immediate clarity is to create and maintain a product roadmap that communicates the plan and aligns your whole organization around it. Useful product roadmaps aren't created overnight. They're the result of deep investments in customer research, engineering priorities, and using your intuition to know what customers will want. However, they give a huge boost to confidence in your abilities as a leader, and they ensure clarity across your organization. The biggest challenge you'll face in building a roadmap will be creating clarity in both the low-level details of the work that needs to be done while staying connected to the higher-level objectives at the company level. In this module, we'll take a look at a few examples to showcase what works and doesn't work well when creating a roadmap. Oftentimes PMs will build product roadmaps in the wrong way. They'll focus on top-down thinking and just hitting deadlines, which ultimately causes the team to miss the key on-the-ground strategic initiatives that must be achieved for product success. Creating a great roadmap and being a top PM is about finding creative ways to achieve and communicate both. Additionally, many roadmaps fail to capture the why behind what is being built and basically become just a list of features. They're disconnected from the strategy and have no clear goals or themes. We'll explore great examples that blend the why and the what seamlessly. So without further ado, let's dive into the key components of a great roadmap and how to create them. Your product roadmap articulates the product strategy so that everyone, from executives to your peers, can understand it. It needs to clearly demonstrate where you are, where you're going, why you've made key decisions, and what the goals are. Essentially, the product roadmap effectively needs to balance the why and the what around your product. Therefore, there are 3 key elements of your roadmap, and these are going to be the timeline, the features, and the goals. And how you implement these can be incredibly flexible to fit your needs. So first, let's take a look at timelines. When most people hear timeline, they immediately jump to putting specific dates on a calendar. While this may work for some organizations, this level of specificity isn't always needed. The days of working for a year or more on a product, then launching at a big conference on a specific date are mostly a thing of the past. However, you do need a way to clearly outline when things are going to happen. The simplest way to articulate this is now, next, and later. And this functions exactly as it sounds. What are we working on now? What's next? And what's further down the road, aka later. Here's an example of a now, next, later roadmap. This type of roadmap clearly communicates what your priorities are over broad timeframes. Features that are in the now category should have more details than the later bucket. While the development team is working on the now features, you might be designing things in the next category and researching features for the later category. This style of roadmap is perfect for teams operating in fast-changing environments where release dates may change and allow you to communicate comprehensive plans to customers without having to commit to specific deadlines. Now, next, later roadmaps are great for sharing your product strategy and priorities with large audiences, for instance, at an all-hands or town meeting. Other examples of timelines are quarterly based or monthly based. For example, in a quarterly view, you'd show what features you plan to deliver in Q1 versus Q2 versus Q3. Quarterly views are great for teams that are working on features that take more than a month to deliver. You can work with your engineering lead to determine the sizing estimates for features and then place them on the roadmap. Monthly roadmaps put specific months associated with the features, such as March, April, May, and are great for teams that are shipping updates to customers on a monthly cadence, since it will align nicely with the product releases. They're also great when more specific timelines are necessary, such as when coordinating work between multiple teams. Whenever there's dependent work between teams, meaning that one team is waiting for a feature to be delivered before they can start work on something else, you'll want to use at least a monthly timeline so there's good clarity between the teams. Now, part 2 of roadmap are the features. And features are simply what capabilities you're adding to the product. Going back to our example, we can see features such as adding video calls, Dropbox integration, and eliminate dropped calls. The features you'll have on your roadmap will be very specific to your product and what your customers need and want. And when capturing features, make sure to document in detail what the feature is, its business impact, how you plan to measure success, and the estimated sizing of the work. And that brings us to part 3 of our roadmap, which are our goals. Goals might be the most important part of the feature roadmap because they help speak to why the work is being done. And the why should be clear. It should be moving the needle on a key aspect of the business and/or delivering some value to the customer. Now, goals can be business goals, such as increase revenue by 10%, or they can be product specific, such as reduce dropped calls by 5%. The key is to let your organization know where the product is headed and let the features, which are now going to be tied to the specific goals, speak on how you'll get there. Looking at our first example, we can see there are 2 goals. The first is drive new user adoption, and the second is drive ongoing user engagement. As a PM, this is probably sufficient at the high-level view, but I would expect to be able to dive deeper on these goals and learn more about why they've been chosen, their expected business outcomes, and which key performance indicators like revenue or customer retention they're driving. Now that we know the key features every roadmap needs to have, let's quickly take a moment to discuss the types of roadmaps and why you should tailor your roadmap to what audience you're presenting it to.